Hi, welcome back to my journal journey. Today I'm setting up 2026 in my everyday bullet journal. I'm using a square Archer and Olive journal that I got from Paper Dream. I was going to order off Archer and Olive, but the shipping costs were just too much to the UK. So I decided to get this. It's from the autumn 2024 collection. I've started out by stenciling my name and my word of the year on the front page. I've kept this front page so simple. Like with most of this setup, I really want to streamline what I want out of my start of year setup. I have gone with the word of the year evolve, and I've done this because there has been a lot of change in my life and there's a lot more change to come up. So I thought evolve really just highlights all of that and the transition and transformation through your experiences. So I wanted to pull that from my yearly collections into this journal just so that I could have a constant reminder. For decoration on these journal pages, I'm using a new stamp set which my mum gave me in my advent, and it's from Crafter's Companion, I believe. Really beautiful stamp set, and I've paired it with some stickers which I believe are from the works. So just adding a little bit. I didn't want to overcrowd this page. Definitely didn't want to stick anything onto the beautiful design on the inside cover. I didn't want to detract from that, so I just went super simple, which is going to be a theme throughout all these spreads. I've also packed a bunch of my journal supplies away, so I'm a bit limited at the moment with what I can actually use. For the title page, I'm just going in super simple with the year, and later on, which I don't believe I've caught on video, I have printed out a year at a glance, which I just downloaded off Google just because I was finding that I needed the dates, and usually I've got an Upsy Daisy bookmark, but this year I haven't. So I've used that because I have started to rely on having the year at a glance. Surprisingly, I never thought I would. For the This is still a stamp from that set, and this was the stamp that really made me want to use the set. My mum did good on this one. And here's another one of the beautiful flowers. They catch the light beautifully, and I'm just in love with these stickers. I was toying with the idea of putting some stickers at the top, and then I realised that I had this PET tape. Looking back on it, it maybe wasn't the best match, but that's okay. The colours don't match up the best, but I'm just rolling with it, giving myself grace. And just trimming off the edges. If you've picked a word of the year, what have you gone for? And how long do you normally take to set up a new journal? This whole process took me maybe an hour, and I think it's the quickest that I've ever done a journal setup. And I enjoy it. It's not as cohesive as I would maybe have liked, but I'm still quite happy with it, and it's still going to get good use. For my future log, I had pre-drawn the boxes, and I'm just adding some wildflowers at the bottom. These stamps I got from the works, and when I put the order in, I thought that they were going to be a little bit bigger than what they are. However, their size has really come in handy on this spread, because if they were any bigger, it just wouldn't be right at the bottom. I was just going to do a shadow, but I decided that I wanted to add a little bit of colour, and I was trying to match up some of the colours from the stickers that I had used. So I pulled out this shimmery green and pink, and I've just been alternating them at the bottom just to try and fill in the bottom of the spread. And then just to bring the top in with the bottom, I chose some of the other stamps that I hadn't used at the bottom with the pink shimmer, and just put one in each box. I wanted to go very stamper heavy on this spread, just because I've got so many beautiful stamps, and I find that I don't use them as often as maybe I'd like to. And because the future log is so plain, I haven't added calendars or anything like that, I did want to line out the boxes just to make the whole spread feel a little bit more finished. Then I'm going in with my months of the year stamps, which I got from Stationery Pal. I've used the days of the weeks quite often, but the months of the year I haven't actually used that much. So if I was going to go back and repurchase, I'd definitely repurchase the days of the week stamps, not so much the months of the year. For my next two spreads, I've got a goals spread where I've got 3 big boxes down the side where I'd like to have 3 intentions or 3 things to think about, to focus on. I don't want to necessarily treat them as goals. You will lose this much weight by the end of the journal's life. I just want 3 intentions to not make it seem like you're failing if you don't hit them. I don't know, made sense in my head. So that's my plan for this page. And then any any other notes, ideas, thoughts, or reasons as to why I've chosen these goals, I'd like to put down the side. So I've got my space from the 3 goals, and then space for why I want these goals. And again, just because I've done it on previous pages, just using that very light grey just to finish off the spreads, because these spreads do look a little bit on the bare side. I've kept the decoration to a minimum, and just to make it feel finished, because if the spread doesn't feel finished, I'm not going to get into it. and it won't be used to its full potential. So yeah, that was my thought process behind it. I want to be super duper low pressure on this page. I don't want to stress myself out. I tried really hard to set really meaningful goals last year, and it just didn't go anywhere for me. So I'm trying this approach instead. And then for this page, it's just future me problems, future me jobs, future me purchases, just future me issues. It's a not right now page. So it's just a list where I can collate anything and everything that I miss on there. I don't think I had one in my current journal, or if I did, it wasn't one that I used very often. So, with minimising how many spreads I've got at the start of the journal, I'm hoping to get more use out of them. I'd rather have less pages with more use than more pages with less use, if that makes sense. And just finishing it off with a stamp and a sticker. This stamp didn't quite stamp for the whole way, and that's what I find with big stamps. But I put the sticker down and I'm quite happy with the end results. Some spreads that I didn't video were a master shopping list, somewhere for me to track meals, and a review page. But here's the flip through. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye.